Hi guys, hope you're going well. So today I'm doing a question and answers video. Yesterday I posted a video online asking you to ask me a whole bunch of questions, which you did, so thank you very much for that. I had over 60 questions come through and now I'm really excited to get into it and start chatting with you. Some of the questions are kind of more personal questions about myself and living in Los Angeles. Some of them are movie related questions, like the kinds of movies I love, and then some of them are just random questions, which is always a bit of fun too. So let's get into it. So I've got the questions here on my phone and I'm pretty much just gonna start going through them. And yeah, as you can see, I'm in a hotel room right now. I've just arrived in Palm Springs and I'm here for a couple of days for work, so hopefully it's not too hot and we make it through. First question I've got coming from Lamar Daggerwolf, who says, where are you from originally? What part and what's the best place you miss over there? I'm originally from Melbourne, Australia. I grew up there from the age of say, I don't know, 10 I guess, and before that I was actually born in Australia's capital city, which is Canberra, and grew up there. And what about what I miss? I think Melbourne coffee. I think Melbourne has some of the best coffee ever. Pocket Films says, what would you like to be doing if you could be in any profession, and where do you see yourself taking your channel? So if I could be doing any profession, I would be in the film industry, which I am. I would love to be a movie director and write and direct films. So in terms of my channel, I hope that my channel is like a stepping stone to moving in that direction ultimately, but in the meantime I am seeing it more like a hobby and a way of just sort of expanding myself, and I just love watching movies so much, but who knows where I might be able to take it in the future. Next question is from Ross Ditmore, and he says, when and why did you move to LA, and what was the hardest thing to adjust to? I moved to LA coming up on 2 years, so yeah, I've been here for about 2 years now, and I moved here of course to pursue the film industry, because the industry here in Los Angeles is a lot more substantial than what we've got going on in Melbourne, Australia. And that's not to say that Australia doesn't have a really great indie film industry, because they really do, and there's really great films being made in Australia. It's just there is not a lot of opportunity. It is there's just nowhere near as much volume of work and government incentives and tax incentives in order to make independent work. So yeah, I came over here to Los Angeles to try and pursue the film industry. In terms of the hardest thing to adjust to, I would have to say probably like adjusting to a new city is always hard, and in Los Angeles especially the layout is very unusual. It's a very sprawling city, and I can find myself going from one end of the city all the way through like to the other end of the city all in a day, because things are so spread out, and that is kind of annoying. Ross unfortunately asked a few more questions, but I do have to keep going. But he did say this question, on the off chance you visit the East Coast or want to see a movie with me? Yes, Ross, I do want to see a movie with you. Philippa Christian says, what's the biggest challenge moving from Australia to LA? And apart from learning a new city, which is always a challenge when you move to a new place, I guess it would just have to be friends and family, leaving kind of everybody behind, and that's always really difficult. I'm very close with my family, and I also have a bunny rabbit at home and I miss her a lot. She's a grumpy old lady. She's 8 years old and a very independent thing, and likes, actually she's my background right now. I don't know if you can see that, but I miss her a lot. Also, do you review documentaries? I haven't reviewed any documentaries on my channel yet, but I do love documentaries, and I would love to review some more. Isaac Sargent, how did you become inspired to start your own channel? How did your love of movies begin? Who have been your biggest supporters? Big questions there, Isaac. So how did I become inspired to start my own channel? I guess I watch a lot of YouTube, especially since living here in Los Angeles. I don't have a television, I don't have cable, I just have my laptop. So I started watching a lot of YouTube like a lot and going to the cinemas a lot, and I love watching movies, of course, I always have. And I actually just kind of noticed that there weren't that many females reviewing movies on YouTube. There are a few, and a few really great ones, but there wasn't as big a female presence or a female voice talking about cinema and talking about films and filmmaking, and I just kind of decided to do it. Actually, there is a particular film that inspired me to do it, and that is the Lars von Trier film Nymphomaniac Volume 1 and also Volume 2. I remember I was searching for it, I was searching for reviews online, and I found a lot of reviews coming from the male perspective, but I was specifically curious to see what a woman might have to say about this particular film, because if you don't know, it follows a self-proclaimed nymphomaniac and her sort of sexual misadventures and all that like psychology behind it. And yeah, I was kind of interested in what a female would have to say about a film like that. So that's kind of the actual inciting incident that made me sort of click sign up and like start my own channel myself. How did my love of movies begin? That is like the biggest question I've ever heard. I always grew up being the one behind the camera when we went on family vacations and directing my family and my younger sister around with the home movie camera, and like I used to get together with my cousins and the four of us would make our own little short stupid movies about like fairies lost in the woods and all sorts of like funny like superhero movies and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of how that all started, and then from there the next step was I got a job in a video store, my local video store. Excuse the helicopter. My local video store, and I was working there throughout my high school years for about 4 years, and I got to rent movies for free, and I pretty much watched the entire video store like A through to Z. So that's really where it properly developed, and after that I went to college and studied film and television. So good question, thank you. And then who have been your biggest supporters? I have to say my family. I have a really loving and supportive family, and if they weren't at home supporting me back in Australia, I think it would be a lot more difficult to be out here on my own and doing what I'm doing and trying to make it in Hollywood. Okay, it's getting really hot in this hotel room. Are you bored yet? How am I going to cut this into 10 minutes? I'm not going fast enough. Okay, let's get faster. Michael McNally, what's up Adele? What's up Michael McNally? You spelt my name with only one L. And I don't know if we can be friends. So what inspired you to jump in front of the camera and start reviewing movies? Michael from the Film Guys, smiley face. So I think I kind of already answered your question in somebody else's question. The inciting incident, because that's what I feel like calling it, was the movie Nymphomaniac. I didn't really hear any female voices talking about this very female and gender divided film. I'd seen the films myself and had some quite strong opinions on it, and so I thought, you know what, I'll share what I have to say. Also, I don't have the patience for blogging, so I just thought it would be easier to sit in front of the camera, seeing as how I already have a great knowledge of filmmaking techniques. I have my own camera equipment and gear. I also know how to edit using Final Cut Pro, so it kind of just fell into place one day. Dead X6X, did you see new episode of The Strain? What you think about? So I actually reviewed the pilot episode of The Strain a couple weeks ago, the new horror vampire-esque TV series by Guillermo del Toro, and I really quite enjoyed the pilot and reviewed that. And I did tell you guys that I wasn't going to continue doing recaps and watching the series and doing a recap every week, but this week kind of got a little bit busy, but I will catch up. I did watch the second episode and I did quite enjoy it. I do have some massive problems with some of the dialogue and the clunkiness of how some characters are talking to each other, but overall I'm loving the special effects and the horror scare elements of it, so I'm going to jump on and do episode 2. Don't worry, Dead X6X. Michael Camel says, what's your favorite movie of all time? Lord of the Rings. I happened to see Lord of the Rings when I was 12, I think it was, so it was like a really influential time when the movies came out, and I was just sort of starting to really develop my interest in cinema and films, and seeing a movie as spectacular and enriching as Lord of the Rings that really creates an entire unique world in so much elaborate detail just really kind of was really pivotal to me and changed the way that I saw how cinema could be used to create entire worlds, and yeah, it really just moved me, and that is a huge reason, an influencing reason why I went on to love movies so much, I think. Brett the Movie Guy says most overrated film of this year, and overrated means that there was quite a lot of hype and it didn't meet expectations. So for something recent, I am going to say Transformers 4. I thought that movie was so much explosions, my eyes were kind of bursting out of my head, and you know, they hyped that film a lot and marketed it a lot, and how many millions of dollars they spent in that movie, and yeah, I just thought that it was okay. It did what it wanted to do, which was like blow a whole heap of shit up, but you know, I just think it was overrated. Make or Break One says, from now till the end of the year, what movie or movies are you most excited about seeing? Firstly, I'm really excited about seeing Boyhood, the new Richard Linklater film. It's actually playing in cinemas right now, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet, and I am super excited. Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm very interested about that. The trailers and the advertising for it has been so spot on, really fantastic, so I'm very curious to see how it's actually going to do. And then for later in the year, I am looking forward to Interstellar. I love the trailer for that. I think it is so mysterious and gives away nothing, and that is refreshing. I think it's not until November, but the movie Big Hero 6 is coming out, the Disney movie, and I think that looks like a lot of fun. I did a trailer reaction over on the Real Rejects channel with Ryan Wright. I will leave a link to that because we had a lot of fun watching that trailer, and yeah, it looks like a really fun movie. Random Man says, who's your favorite actor and actress? Really difficult questions, but right now, I think in terms of actors, I am really enjoying Martin Freeman. I'm watching the FX series Fargo, and he's really phenomenal in that. Also, I love him in Sherlock. I think he is a really great Dr. Watson. In terms of actresses, right now, someone coming to mind is Eva Green. I think she is phenomenal. I finished watching the first season of Penny Dreadful on Showtime, and she was just ugly, beautiful, amazing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her in the new Sin City movie, A Dame to Kill For, as well. Jeremy Ocampo, what's the best and worst movie you ever saw, and can you give me a shout out? Jeremy? No, I laughed. Jeremy, that is the first time anyone has ever asked me for a shout out. I feel really honored. Shout out to you, Jeremy. I totally just messed that up. My first shout out, and I blew it. Sorry, Jeremy. This is a good one from Laden Kunik, who says, what are your favorite foreign movies? Really great question, because I love foreign movies, and I guess kind of foreign movies is either anything with subtitles, so anything not in the English language, or I guess nowadays you kind of classify foreign as anything made outside of the USA. That's kind of how I see what I would classify as foreign movies. I don't know if there's a more definitive way to classify a foreign movie, but I love foreign movies so much. I saw a great European movie a couple months ago called Borkman, which was a Dutch, I believe, thriller, very creepy, very eerie. Yeah, I've seen some really great foreign movies this year, and try to review foreign movies on my channel, so look out for those. Jay the Lightseeker, favorite childhood movie? This is really hard. This is a hard question, but I appreciate it very much. I can't go past a Disney princess movie. I just can't. Little Mermaid, right up there. Or Beauty and the Beast. one of my favorites growing up. Okay, sorry, there are people outside yelling a lot across the balcony to each other, but we'll continue, shall we? Can you hear that person? He's yelling profanities. Blu-ray Evan, you're the winner. You win because you asked me the most questions in one comment box, and like 20 questions. It's a lot of questions. So I'm just going to answer the first question. I apologize, but I'm going to assume that the first question that you asked me was the one you wanted to know the most. So let's do that, shall we? You say, what made you start collecting Blu-rays? And I have to confess, Blu-ray Evan 01, that unfortunately I don't own any Blu-rays and have never owned a Blu-ray. Confession. So unfortunately I move around a lot. I am a bit of a traveler and I move around for work. You know, I'm in the film industry and making movies, and I go where the work is, like project to project. So as much as I would love to own movies, and there are so many great movies out there that I would just love to call my own and be able to watch whenever I feel like, it's just too hard for me to own Blu-rays or own possessions like that. The Clay Singer asked a lot of questions as well. Thank you. You asked 10 questions and they're very good questions too. I'm just going to answer the first question. What's a film that you watched once and hated and then really enjoyed a second time? I think Anchorman. I think the first time I saw Anchorman, it was like in bits and pieces or on TV or something, and I had heard so much hype about it, and the first time I saw it, not really properly, and I don't think I quite got the humor of it, and so I don't know, it just maybe just kind of went over my head and I didn't really love it. And then, oh, people are getting kind of violent over there. He just slammed the door. Oh, and now he's back out. I think I should like close my blinds. So I totally lost my train of thought. Movie Anchorman. Yeah, so I think the first time I didn't quite get it, so I didn't like it. I didn't know why everyone loved this movie so much. But then I watched it not too long after, properly end to end with a big group of friends, and loved it. AKA Crush, you've been featured in other YouTuber channels. How did that all come about? Were you approached by them? Did you contact them? Or were you already acquainted with each other? Thanks, smiley face. I've been on a couple of other YouTube channels that are both based here in Los Angeles, and that is We Live Film and also The Real Rejects. And both of them I met through YouTube, and it just kind of came about where we were commenting on each other's videos for a while, and then it just was like, hey, you're in LA, want to collaborate on a video or something like that, and just like a conversation got started and came about that way. So it was kind of a bit of a natural progression that started with just commenting on each other's content regularly, and then kind of developed into more of a relationship, I guess, and then finally we met and were able to collaborate. Cameron Owen asked, did you think it was weird going to Ryan's house for the first time? And John Doe said, yes, answer this please. I guess because Ryan, so it's Ryan Wright, the host of The Real Rejects, who I've guested on their channel several times now, and I guess it was weird going to his house for the first time. Isn't it always weird when you go to someone's house for the first time? Also, like, we kind of met through YouTube, so we chatted on the phone a few times before we actually met in person, but yeah, I guess so. Brian Irizarry has followed this up with, why did you have to walk 2 miles to get to Ryan's house? And that was actually a joke that we said on one of the videos on The Real Rejects, because it was a really hot day and I had actually walked 2 miles to get to his place. But it was because I wasn't driving that day, and I got dropped off at the local, like, nearby McDonald's, and I was doing some work for several hours before I met up with Ryan, and I don't know, it's a long and boring story. Ryan was offering to come and pick me up, but I insisted on walking because I love walking. I absolutely love walking, and I wanted to walk. MBL Designs, what do you think of Ryan Wright? He's a legend. That's what I think of him. I cannot believe this gentleman on the balcony across from me is having an entire conversation to the man on the ground floor. It's like a whole like conversation going from like across 3 floors, leaning out the balconies. Zia Spidey, how is it being on The Real Rejects and getting to react to online videos? I have to say I love being on The Real Rejects. It's really great and I was so excited to get invited to come and react to trailers with Ryan Wright and the other guys. The first time I ever heard about trailer reactions, I thought it was a really... He's still yelling. I thought it was a really bizarre concept, I have to say, like watching people as they're watching the trailer. Like it's a very intimate in a way because you're staring at their live emotional reactions to something that they're watching. It's kind of like you're watching, I don't know, I just thought it was a really weird concept and I didn't quite get it to start with, but sorry, I'm so distracted. Oh. Everybody's joining in. This is the craziest thing going down outside. Oh, he's gonna go down. Okay, so I just realized the time is getting really late and I actually have to go to a meeting kind of shortly. I need to get ready. So I'm going to power through the last of these questions. Jiggly Jelly says, would you ever do a dance battle with Ryan or anybody else? The answer is yes. Yes, I would, Jiggly Jelly. I would certainly do a dance battle with Ryan. In fact, Ryan Wright, I challenge you to a dance battle. And then Jiggly says, would you ever allow me to take you and anyone you choose to hang for the day? Of course I would. Najo21, have you ever walked out on a movie because of how bad it was? And would you ever date a Puerto Rican man? The answer to the first part of the question is probably no. I don't think I've ever walked out on a movie because it was so bad. I usually try and give the movie any kind of benefit of any doubt and just kind of give it a bit of respect to see it through to the end. I will say Transcendence, which is one of my least favorite movies, probably the least favorite movie I've seen this entire year. I did leave the movie 2 times. Once to make a phone call and another time just to say hi, I think, to somebody because it was that boring. But I didn't technically walk out because I walked back in. WWE fan 0599, who would win, Deadpool or the Punisher? I haven't seen either, but I'm going to say the Punisher because I like Thomas Jane. I've met him before and he is a nice guy. So the Punisher. Down in front, what's your favorite movie that stars Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes? Was that a loaded question? Are you wanting me to say Space Jam? Space Jam. Oh, bonus question. That's fun. Favorite Bill Murray film? I love Lost in Translation. Red Team Review says, yo number. Many smiley faces. Your opinion on a war between Canada and Australia. Who'd win? I don't support war. Red Team Review. Australia. Robert James, what's your plan of action for the zombie apocalypse? We all secretly have a plan. My plan is to run far, far away to the most remote place that I can get to. That was a stupid plan, wasn't it? Okay, alright, maybe I didn't already have a plan, Robert James, but now that you've brought it up, I will make sure that I have a plan ready to go. So I'm gonna sleep on that. Let's finish it off with XXX, too tired to think, XXX, marry me. Trey Devon, do you like being hit on? Be honest. Trey Devon. Be honest. I was gonna try and say something funny, but I don't even know what to say to that. Okay guys, there were more questions, but I actually really have to go. The people are still yelling outside and I'm really distracted, so sincere apologies for that. But thank you very much for watching this question and answers video. Thank you for submitting your questions. I really enjoyed having a chance to answer them. There were some good ones in there. I enjoyed the bonus questions. I enjoyed the questions that were left field that I hadn't ever thought of or considered before. So thank you very, very much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I look forward to putting out more movie reviews for you guys very, very soon. And thank you for watching. Bye! Okay. Brett the Movie Guy. Most overrated film of this year. Somebody is yelling across the balcony. No, I didn't like that. So, I don't know. This is gonna be so long.
Show that about me at because it was so funny.
I'm trying to come across as someone very sophisticated and intelligent. You can't show me being an idiot. Oh my god, sirens! This is so hard. I'm like 4 questions in. It's like a really hard question. Okay, this next one's hard. This is gonna be like the longest video ever.